Hello everyone and welcome back to This Is Real Life. I'm your host Sheri and today it is DIY Wednesday. And in today's episode, we are going to DIY a game table. This game table is legit. This is a game table that I thought of for my son. A group of his friends come over every Sunday night and they play D&D. They used to play D&D up in the loft we have a poker table up there, and the loft would just be a shit show after all these boys came over and snacks and drinks, and I was really tired of seeing the loft look like a bomb went off every Sunday night. My son has what we like to call an office. You know, back in the day when he was little, it was his playroom. That is what I am in today. I decided I needed to get these kids out of the damn loft and in their own space where they could make it as shitty and as dirty as they wanted, because I could just close the door on it. But it's just like any smaller bedroom in a normal family home. It doesn't have a lot of space. The game table I wanted to make needed to be large enough to accommodate, like 6 people, but it's nothing that I wanted to have out all the time because it would take up a lot of space in this room. So I thought of this amazing idea. I took the idea from Mr. Murphy, I guess, the inventor of the Murphy bed. And the Murphy bed is one of those beds where, it's like up against a wall, and from the outside it just looks like maybe this nice entertainment unit or something like that. But then, lo and behold, boop, the magic happens and it comes off of the wall and there's a bed right there. That's a great idea, Mr. Murphy. I'm just gonna expand on that. I don't need a bed in this room, but what I do need is a game table for 6 to 8 kids. I made a game table that is hinged to the wall, so it's up and out of the way whenever Davis is in here just on his computer, making music, doing whatever he does. But then when his friends come over, they can go vroom, and there's this wonderful game table that they just bring all their chairs around, and then voila, they're playing D&D. And then when they're done, they could clean off their D&D table and then hinge it back up to the wall, and then you've got this whole room of space. So I am going to show you in this video how I went about making that game table. If you've watched any of my skincare videos, my first microneedling video in particular, you will know my mom didn't teach me a lot about skincare. But what she did teach me was that we are INDEPENDENT. Do you know what that means? Independent women. And I probably spelled independent wrong in that, but she always taught me that we could do whatever we wanted to do. Just because we're girls doesn't mean we can't saw wood or sand wood or drill. I have a memory of us in our bathroom. It was just a normal tub with like a shower curtain. And one day she came home and she was like, I don't like that shower curtain anymore. I want to put up a glass door. We bought a glass door. It was just me and my mom, and we came home and we installed a sliding glass door in the bathroom. So from that point on, I was like, you know what? I can do anything, and you guys can do anything too. We're smart, resourceful women, and if we think of something, we can make it. While I do have a husband, 9 times out of 10, I'll bring up something like, I want to make a game table, and he'll be like, pfft. And so I'll just go out and get the shit and make it. And then before he knows it, I've got a game table up here. I'm not going to say that I didn't ask for help on this particular project because it's heavy and hinging it to the wall was not easy to do on my own. I also did have a breakdown moment making this table when I was trying to hinge it to the wall. Everything was working out perfectly in my head. Oh, just hinge it to the wall, do this, do that. It will work, it will unfold. Well, it didn't go that smoothly. I'm not gonna lie. I did break down at one point. I'm fucking over this. I'm throwing this whole project in the garbage. But I took a step back, rethought a few things, figured it out, hinged it to the wall, and then it was done. And then after it was done, I was like, holy shit, I made this. And it's amazing. Davis and his friends are in here every Sunday. We can shut the door on them. They can be hooting and hollering up in here as much as they want, and I don't hear a damn thing. So I'm gonna show you what I did. Your dimensions of your game table might be different than mine based on where you're putting it and how much room you have, but this tutorial-esque video will give you a good idea on where to begin, what I did, maybe some tricks and tips. Maybe watching this video will help you avoid having a breakdown in the middle of your DIY. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So let's get into it. Okay, first I had to start with a plan. So by measuring my kitchen table, I knew that the height needed to be 30 inches high. I wanted the game table to be kind of an octagon-y shape. A piece of plywood is 4 foot by 8 foot. I was gonna use the entire 4 foot width of plywood. And so then I had 8 feet to work with here. Well, clearly I'm not going to make an 8 foot long table. By measuring how much room I had, I wanted it to be 57 inches. I want 2 humans to fit here comfortably, a human to fit here, a human to fit here, and a human to fit here. 4, 5, 6, 7 humans. And comfortably, to me, I just measured my own self in a chair. Elbow room, I figured 20 inches. So 20 inches per person. So I know from here to here is at least 40, and then 20, 40, 60. So 4 feet equals 48. So I've got plenty of enough room here. I know I'm gonna need 1 sheet of plywood for the top, and then I'm going to need wood for the bottom, as well as legs that are 30 inches tall. That's how it all started. Next, we get the plywood and we cut it. Okay, so I'm at the Lowe's right now and we are going to pick out the cheapest plywood we can find. I'm trying to do this project on the cheap. So here we go. Right away, I know I don't want this plywood because it is $37. So let's scour. This one's 24, this one's 37. Oh, here's one for 16. This one's 16. 3/8? Yeah, I think this is good. Oh, here we go. Here's what I'm gonna use for the table legs. Here's the 2x3. It's $2.73 each. So this is what I am going to use for the legs. Perfect. Now where in the hell's the 1x1 in this damn store? Okay, so it's not called 1x1, it's called 2x2. Perfect square. This goes for the brace under the table I'm making. Okay, and because I want to be super innovative, for the hinges that this Murphy bed table is going to hold up to the wall, I want to do something cool. I could just do normal hooks, but I'm going to look around the Lowe's and see if I can find something that's way cooler than that. So we're in the plumbing section, and I think I have a good idea. I'm going to use these on-off valves. See how it looks like this? So this up against the wall, this little part, this little handle will hold the table to the wall, and then you can just turn this handle down when you want to release the table from the wall and put it down, just like a Murphy bed. That's pretty exciting. So I'm going to get these, and then I have to figure out a way to affix it to the wall. So I'm going to get this, which is a floor flange, but little does Lowe's know, I'm going to put it on the wall. I need something that screws in here and does like a turn, like an elbow. Oh, this is the one. It doesn't need to be on both sides, dumma. My cute little on-off valve will screw into here, and this will be on the table or on the wall like this. Perfectamundo! Yay! We have the wood, and we have how we're gonna hold it to the wall. We need hinges and something to make the legs pop out. There are 8,000 hinges to choose from. I was originally thinking that I would use a nice pretty piano hinge, but after talking for hours and hours with the people at the Lowe's, I need something that's a little more durable. I need like a super strong one of these suckers. Oh, this one right here is perfect. So it's strong, durable, it's gonna be hold up the table and all the weight that will be on the table when all of those boys are playing their D&D games. So perfect. This is what I need for the legs. And what's cool is, see how that picture is holding up a drawer? Just picture if that we turn the picture sideways and it's hanging on a wall, and then the legs need to flap down. So this is what we're going to use for that. I know it's gold, kind of doesn't match my silver hinges, but it's the only color they have. So that's what I'm getting. So after spending 8 million years in the Lowe's, I think I have everything I need to build this Murphy bed style game table. And I'm gonna get all my shit and then get home and start making stuff. Okay, so in order to make this video not be hells along, I'm just gonna tell you, kind of take you through the process of what I did to create this game table. Then at the end, you'll see the finished product. So I got my plywood. I drew out all of my lines, my cut lines with my wonderful level. I double measured everything because measure twice, cut once. That's a good rule to live by. I'm just basically gonna cut out that weird little octagon shape that I have at the top. Each person needs 20 inches to actually sit and be comfortable. And I want the top 20 inches so that Davis can sit at the head and be comfortable. And then I've got my 42 inches long that way, which was supposed to be 40 according to my paper math. However, when I was trying to do all of this and make sure everything looked good, it just ended up that the length here is 42. That's what happened. I got my Sharpie and I drew my lines, and now I'm ready to saw. There were only 3 cuts on the tabletop. The 4-foot width of the plywood, I didn't trim that at all. The table is 4 feet wide. All I did was trim off the octagon angled spots for the top of the table. I used my circular saw, which seems like, damn, girl's got some power tools. I do. I like doing woodworking projects. I've collected a lot of power tools over the years. Nothing in this video is sponsored. I purchased all of these power tools. Surprisingly, some power tools aren't that expensive. Anyways, I digress. If you're not used to using a circular saw, don't be nervous of it. It's very easy. I'm just gonna keep my pencil line right inside that divot to make sure that I'm super straight. And here we go. You keep your hand here, you keep your other hand on the trigger, you line up in here, and you just vroom right away. That's all you do. Voila, you just made cut number 1. And that was easy, and it was perfectly straight. Don't be intimidated by it. It's a great thing to use, and it goes fast, and it makes super straight cuts. After that, it was time for me to put the brace underneath the table. I got my electric screwdriver, and because I didn't want the screws coming up through the tabletop, I actually drew out where my braces were going to go on the tabletop, and I put the braces underneath, and I screwed from the top down so that no screws would point and pop up and break the top of the table. Just going to use this and drill screws in every so often. Yeah, you should probably pre-drill, but I just press down real hard and that countersinks my screws. This plywood is cheap, so it's not gonna make a difference that I'm not pre-drilling. Set it in, get it a little started, and drill. Boom, counter sunk like a mother. So I'm just gonna fill that with wood putty, and then the top will be back smooth. So I filled all my little screw divots with wood filler, waited for that to dry, and then I sanded everything. I used my palm sander for that because ain't nobody got time to sand this by hand. I started with a good gritty grit of sandpaper. The lower the number, the rougher the grit. The higher the number, the finer or smoother the grit. 80 was what I had in my cupboard, so that's what I used. And then I went back over the 80 roughness of sandpaper and did like a 120 grit sandpaper to really like smooth it all out. And once that was done, it was ready for me to bring inside and cover with my pretty blue vinyl. So I laid my vinyl out on the floor with the bad side facing me. I sprayed a bunch of Easy Tack, Super 77, spray adhesive, whatever you've got. I sprayed the whole thing with that. I flipped my tabletop over onto the vinyl so that my vinyl wouldn't move around on me when I was trying to staple gun it to the bottom of the table. You are gonna see the underside when it is up on the wall. So I made sure that I was stapling my vinyl in very precisely, folding it under, making super straight lines. I even like spaced the staples that I was stapling in like exactly apart so it didn't look super shitty when it was up on the wall. So I cut it. I put my braces underneath. I put my legs underneath. Shelving, which all I did was use the scrap from my plywood that I had already cut. I used that scrap to make the shelf in the center. Screwed that in, put my vinyl on, and then I was ready to take up in the room and install. I did have to have help when installing it, but for the most part, all of this stuff, I did all by myself. You can do it all by yourself. Using a saw is not hard. Using a staple gun, not hard. Using a palm sander, not at all hard. All of the things that I did to make this table were very easy. The most intimidating thing would be, I would say, circular saw. But other than that, you can't get injured by this. I mean, the most you could do is like deep exfoliation of your skin. Drill, not intimidating at all. I'm no master carpenter. You will see the details of this game table, and if you look closely, it's like not super awesome, but it's awesome enough, and I made it, so there you have it. So here is the game table up against the wall, looking good. It's affixed to the wall with my lovely, innovative on-off valve brackets. I could have just used I was thinking like a gate hook or something like that, but I like this. Since it was gonna be up against the wall a good majority of the time, I added that shelf in the middle there so that it acts as a display shelf for, I don't know, the D&D accessories, I guess. That way when they're ready to play, they just take all this stuff off the shelf, put the game table down, and voila, they can play. Under here, I had to add this here so that the table had something to rest on. This whole section right here was what made me have a breakdown. While it's not the finest of craftsmanship, it works, and it made it so that I didn't throw this whole monstrous thing in the garbage. I've got my 3 heavy-duty hinges. This part acts as a brace when the table comes down. And here is the game table down. So they just turned off the water valve, extended the table out, and now they are ready to play a rip-roaring game of D&D, which I don't quite understand, but they have fun doing it, and that's all that matters. I did add some navy blue vinyl to the top. I also added these guardrails because from what I understand, it's just hell if you're rolling dice and dice rolls off the table. I sanded them down and painted them so that they don't hurt anybody's arms. And then you can see the hinges there. The table is now supported by that brace that's underneath. Table legs are down and intense, like they are supporting this table. I think it turned out pretty good. For what I spent and what I wanted to achieve, I think I nailed it. That's it. That's all I did. And I made a Murphy bed game table. And it looks amazing. And it's enjoyed by many a nerdy boy. So that was the point of it. And now I keep the mess that used to be in my loft in Davis's room. So it's a win-win. All right, everybody, that is it for this episode of DIY Wednesdays. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel and ring the notification bell. I am uploading new DIY videos every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you ring that notification bell, you will not miss one. If you've ever tackled a DIY project that is big or small, leave me a comment and let me know how it went. I'm always excited to hear everybody's DIY. We give each other ideas. Everything I see is inspirational, so anything that you guys can show me or send me or tell me about is great. If you used a tool that's amazing, like for me, I really wish I owned a router. I don't know what I would route, but if you have an amazing tool that you just can't live without, leave me a comment and let me know what it was. As always, please share this video with your family and friends, and until next time, thanks for hanging out.